Hippie!
Do you have any favorite senators, be it SGA or United States?
Often when you are a senator, it's really this selfless role where you are trying to reach out to your constituents, your districts, being representative and making decisions that benefit all of Stevens. And it really goes a lot without any sort of formal recognition. And it takes up a lot of time. I hear all of the meetings, subcommittees and senators are having, and trying to just meet with students. And so I would say largely I have all the respect for all SGA senators. And then politically, there's certainly some that I certainly more identify with given my ideologies. And I think to me, SGA senator, US senator, acting in the best interest for your community members is important, and maintaining your values when you make decisions, I think, is super important in any aspect.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite Biden meme?
All those Biden memes, they made me quite sad as November was coming, or not November, as January was approaching. I would say, I don't know if it was a meme, but it was more of a moment, which then generated a meme, of President Obama giving Vice President Biden the Medal of Freedom, I believe, in one of the final days. And it was just this surprise moment that looked so sincere and really highlighted the friendship that they had, which I think is very unique to that role. So I know I don't have like a funny one, but that Medal of Freedom imagery and what happened that day was really cool.
Nice. You had spoke about the Senate. There's some discussions in the Senate on how some communication isn't transparent. I'd like to set the record now for all of you watching. How does the SGA cabinet and student senators liaise between the Office of Student Life and the student body as a whole? So like when the cabinet comes to you and the other administrators in student life, what sort of meetings do they have? How often do they communicate? That sort of thing.
So first I would say in terms of our office, it is maybe surprising to some, but it is a free-flowing, open door. There's a lot of activity and students that are meeting for various reasons, whether it's with Christy, Thea, Jaquise, Ryan, Mike, Brielle, Jane, you name it. There's always students coming up, meeting us with maybe something specific that they have a question about, or maybe they're just talking about life and maybe new opportunities, or talking having generic conversations. And so I very much view as communication between SGA or any student to be, we are an open door and welcome conversation on any topic that pertains to a student and their time at Stevens. And so for me in particular, as the advisor to the Senate, to the SGA, is I'm meeting with the cabinet and REBA right now every other week to sort of talk about, hey, what's going on in the Senate? What are some concerns that maybe students have? Some changes that they'd like to see. I in turn also bring in things that have developed perhaps within our office. Usually they're pretty, they're not very often. I'm more of like programmatic wise, like right now we're really in the trenches of Founders Day Ball and making sure everybody's on the same page. It really varies, but we always consistently have those every other week meetings. Furthermore, I spend time with, in particular, Sundis, the VPSI, meeting with her in those off weeks, as well as with Tommy. There's always a frequent communication. We also do meetings with Sarah Klein as the assistant vice president for student affairs, with some of the cabinet members. So there's this always communication. Communication's always open between administration in our office and the SGA.
Nice.